Thank you, Chairman Rouser and Ranking Member Norton, for holding this hearing today. Excuse me. Thank you to our witnesses for their time and testimony. I know it's a big sacrifice to be here, and we appreciate you all very much. I represent a very rural part of Ohio. It's a place where we have 4 of the 5 poorest counties and 9 of the 20 poorest counties in the state of Ohio. So I'd like to focus for a minute on the selling points we've had for VMT. Mr. Burkhardt, the only basis for VMT being sold for as a benefit to rural communities today that I've heard is that their cars get worse mileage. Are there others? Just so I'm clear.
Are you asking if there's other sources other than?
When somebody else asks you how it was cheaper for rural communities to have VMT, and you just said gas mileage. Is there any other?
Yes. There was studies done through the TETC, which is the Eastern Transportation Coalition, I-95 corridor, and they did studies with Georgia and Maryland and determined that rural participants ended up paying anywhere from 7 to 9% less than they would have paid with a fuel tax.
Okay, this is from a study done where? I'm sorry.
This is through the TETC, which is the Eastern Transportation Coalition, which, among other things, supports mileage-based user fee studies with several of its member states. And this was a study that was done through that program.
So they said they paid less, but were there reasons other than the fact that their cars are getting worse mileage, or just that's the percentage that came out of that?
Yes, sir. Mostly it was due to the fact that their vehicles were lower gas mileage. So the idea of mileage-based user fee is that everyone pays the same amount per mile, and as it is now, people are unfairly burdened with when they have vehicles that have lower gas mileage, and that tends to be
thank you. So what I'm hearing is no other reason besides their cars get worse mileage. Mr. Davis, do you know of any other reason that it's supposed to benefit rural communities other than their cars get worse mileage?
No. Generally speaking, VMT is traditionally a little higher in rural areas than urban, although the growth lately has been more in urban than rural.
Do you know does anyone know, either of you two know what the baseline miles per gallon they use for urban and rural areas, or urban and suburban areas versus rural areas, or did they just test a few cars, or anybody know about the methodology? Because it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me that, say you get 28 miles per gallon on driving in a suburban area, or I would think you would get less than that in an urban area because you're sitting at stoplights all the time. And say you get roughly 20 in a rural area, that's 18%.
It's 23, but we can get back to you on that.
23 for?
23 miles per gallon.
Which for rural or for non-rural?
For rural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes it even better for the rural folks. So say you're averaging 28 in non-rural areas, it's like now it's going to be probably a 12 or 13% difference in mileage, and in my district, probably a 200% difference in miles driven. That's not really sustainable. It doesn't make sense to me that would save the people in my district money. I mean, am I explaining myself to where it makes sense? Okay. And again, there's no other basis for it. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Before I served in Congress, I owned a ready-mix concrete business. I'll echo some of Congressman Collins' comments from earlier, but I know the planning and work that goes into carrying out infrastructure projects. Mr. Johnson, how is the projected shortfall in the Highway Trust Fund impacting the asphalt pavement industry regarding project timelines, workforce stability, and project planning? You only have 30 seconds, but if you want to hit the highlights and you want to add stuff later, you can submit it.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So the shortfall is, slow down projects. It's slow down projects. It has slowed down our growth. It has made the environment much more competitive, and it's delaying projects, which is impacting our entire industry significantly.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and I yield back, Chairman.